Welcome back, guys, to Kick Like a Girl, episode 9. We have a special guest with us today from West Torrens Birkalla Soccer Club, and that's Marie Heinrich. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
That's good. How's your day?
It's been pretty good. I'm on holidays at the moment, school holidays, which is nice.
Yes. Same.
Yeah, so that's nice. I feel like I've probably been rushing around with the kids, but it's been pretty settled compared to during the term, which is nice. I'm grateful for the breaks.
A nice break. Me too.
It's
I feel
good.
you. So, where were you based? Where did you kind of grow up? What's your story?
My story. I grew up in Torrensville.
Okay.
So that's where my mum and dad still live in Torrensville. So I grew up in the western suburbs.
Yeah.
So that's where I went to primary school. Went to a school called junior primary called St. George College.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's sort of where, and grandparents were local to that area too. So, yeah, that was my home for a while.
Cool. I see you went to school with Christina Papageorgiou.
Yes, like
High
I feel.
school.
So Christina Papageorgiou, Unley High.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I'm like because I did go to St. George for like 1 year in year 8, and then I went to Unley High.
Moved.
So yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think she was the year above me, maybe.
Okay.
I feel like.
Yeah, because I asked her at training. She's like, oh yeah, I went to, because I was like, oh, you guys have known each other a long time. She's like, yeah, we went to school together. And then she told me that she broke your sister's leg.
Yes.
And she told me not to bring it up, but I had to. Thanks for the content puppy.
It was when we were playing for Olympic. Oh, it was originally West Adelaide, and then I don't know what happened. I was trying to think about what happened back then, because I grew up playing for West Adelaide, and then I think we sort of went off on our own, or they didn't have women's teams. I don't know what happened, but it became Olympic. I'm not sure if it was the West Adelaide phase or the Olympic phase when that happened, but yeah, my younger sister was playing, and then I think I was watching, which maybe I was playing for SASI back then, and we weren't playing for Premier League.
Okay. Yep.
And I just remember her getting injured, and then it happened pretty fast. So I think it was just a tackle.
Classic.
Yeah. So
I think she feels bad about it still, because she's like, don't bring this up. And I was like...
I can see why, but I'm sure it was just part of, it's just what happens in, soccer.
Yeah.
I don't know if my sister played after that, but I don't know.
Ended her career. Thanks a lot.
Well, I think I've asked her a few times, but I think she's happy she's got some young kids too, but she's happy with gym and I've invited her, but she's I think she's done with it. But yeah, I can't remember, I don't think she came up back after that, but I could be wrong. It was a long time ago.
That's all right. So you mentioned you're a teacher.
Yes.
How long have you been a teacher for?
So I'm trying to think. It's been over, gosh, are you good at maths? I graduated in 2000, so I finished high school in 2003, and then uni 2004 to 2007, because it was a 4-year degree.
Okay.
That was early childhood. So till now.
Okay. 15-ish years?
Yep. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
You taught Mallory Mullen.
I did.
Is that right?
Yes.
Was she like a classroom teacher or?
Yeah, I was. So I taught her. So back in Torrensville, I was a reception 1 teacher.
Okay.
Reception year 1. It was like a mixed class, and then I was also a year 4-5 teacher at some point when I was there. And when she I bumped into her in the change. It was at Birkalla. I think maybe when she was playing for Adelaide United.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and I was in there with Carol and getting strapped, and then there were these girls, and I was like, wow, they play for Adelaide United, wow, And, but it didn't sort of click, so, and then I went back to the change rooms, and then Carol was like, do you know, that's Mallory Mullen, you used to teach her, and I was like, what? And then I went back, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's you. So I do remember her. She was, I just couldn't remember if it was year 1, 2 that I taught her, or year 4, 5.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I do remember, because I was running the soccer program there at Torrensville, they didn't have one. So at some point I was coordinating that. So
Yeah.
and she was out there like with the boys, and I was like, I was really encouraging her to do it. Not that she needed to, but she was amazing. And then because I've been out of the game for such a long time, I didn't know that she was playing for Adelaide United, and then I was like, oh my gosh, she like is. So I was so proud, and I remember that what game was it? I think we played you guys second round, like the second time at your home ground, I think. And she came up to me and we took a photo, and she was like, I'll send this to Robbo. That was like the other teacher we used to that taught there as well, and because I think they're still in touch. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm playing against like, one of my students, which is like makes you feel really old at times, but it's really nice too.
Yeah, it is.
I guess, I knew there was so much potential, and she just loved it. You know? So it's nice to see that, how she went and that she's still playing and those sorts of things. So I did. I did teach her.
I remember when I must have been when I was talking to Pappy that I was going to have you on, and she's like, she used to be my teacher.
Yeah.
Loved it. It's so cute. I was like, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So at school, did you sort of play soccer, or when did you start to get into it? Do you play other sports? Or?
Yeah, I loved sport in general, like at school. Like we'd just be playing. I guess I did love sports. So at lunch and recess, like I'd be playing sport, but I didn't necessarily like choose soccer. It was like any sort of sport that came up per term. You know how you'd have like, this term is, softball or, so I'd just I'd give a go at everything. Yeah. Didn't love basketball. Was the only one I couldn't grasp. I was like, I didn't get the whole travel thing. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, so that was the only one. Like, gave netball a go, and so I gave everything a go. And they had so it was Sauza back then. They had like you'd call it like a sports day, but it wasn't run by Sauza. It was run by all the different sort of, I guess, associations as such, like sporting associations. And when we're in year 7, as a class, we all went to this day and had a go at all these different sports, and then from there was a soccer station, you'd say. Oh. And so from there they picked like people to be a part of like a year 7 soccer camp. So that was back. So that happened for quite a while. So that was my first sort of like my induction into soccer as such, like a camp, because I hadn't really played. I played at recess and lunch, but didn't have a club.
Properly. Yeah.
And so I did that, and then I guess from there they're like, oh, do you have a club? And I was like, no. And one of my friends from Unley High, she was there. I knew she was playing for West Adelaide, so I went, okay, like I'll give that a go, and that's where it all sort of eventuated. So I was late bloomer. It's different to now. Very different, but I loved sport. Like my grandpa was like trainer of like West Adelaide, back then, so it was his life. So
cool.
So Dad played footy, growing up. We were always pretty active. So I think just happened to be identified there, and then which was good, because then it was sort of like this is where I could give this a go and see what happens. And here I am.
Here you are. What a career. Yeah. So talk about so you said you started a bit later. Yeah. So was that through high school you started playing for a club? Yeah, so whenever it was under 13s, so I would have my first team was under 13s for West Adelaide. So we played at B27. I don't know if you still call it that. Yeah, they do. So that was our home ground. Yeah, that's what we did. Trained. Juniors still play there. Yeah, on the back pitch in the dark. So we trained there. I loved it. I just remember going, I just loved it. It was really nice to be a part of something, I think. And then, like, some parts were a bit of a blur, but, like, I played club, played there, and, like, just obviously just worked my way through, like, played under 13s, and I guess it would have
maybe we had an under-17s, and then there was reserves and Premier League. And I remember Christina playing for Premier League, and I was like, and she was 12 or something. And I just remember, wow, like as a 12-year-old, maybe I'm wrong, but she was the youngest, Premier League player. So,
wow.
And I was like, wow, and but I just would play some reserves games, and then somehow, and then I guess I got into Premier League, and then so it was a bit of I did a bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then in between there, obviously there was state, so there would have been trials and things like that for like the state teams, which I got into. And then I played SASI. I got selected into this SASI program. So that was like pretty much.
That's where it all got a bit more serious.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, which was good. Yeah.
So 02 I've got here, Adelaide Sensation.
Oh yeah, that was
with Chi-Chi,
yes,
and Christina and Anita, Lisa Devanna, coached by Kevin McCormack.
Yeah.
So that turned into SASI eventually.
No, that was the Adelaide. That was like Adelaide United.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's what the original
called.
Adelaide United team was called. So it's funny. Some of the players I used to play with used to call me Sensation. I was like, and then I couldn't remember why. I was like, why are they? Oh yeah, they're like, we were called Adelaide Sensation. It was part of the, what was that league called? Because it wasn't, so, that was lots of fun. I didn't get much game time, I don't think, which was fine because there were some pretty incredible players there. But I was in the squad, so I got to train with them. And I think we actually played at at Birkalla. I feel like that was that was one of the games. Just to train with those girls was pretty incredible. That's
not to make you feel old, but that was 20 years ago.
Yeah. So, are you going to ask how old I am?
No.
You can.
No, that's okay. I was just thinking, what kind of players, back then were you up against? You said you didn't play a lot, but for the
in
different
that
states.
league, even in the SASI league at that time, like we had, Anne-Marie Vozzo. I don't know if you know Anne-Marie Vozzo. She was a defender. Cheryl Salisbury, who played for Australia, she came back in.
Yeah.
Christy Moore was in, like.
Oh yeah.
So she was, when I had just started, she was obviously involved. She was in there. Christina. Who else was in there? Gosh.
Dialigich?
Yeah. Dialigich was.
Yeah.
So there were quite a few. There were players that came in from interstate as well, but I mean, it was incredible just to be a part of that at that time. And it was similar to it was a similar situation in like an under-17 state team. I was quite young, but and didn't get that much game time that tournament. But then we won that league. Like we won that year, I remember. And like she was in that, Pappy, like Belinda Gorlick. I don't know if you, lots of people might not know, but they were sort of people that we looked up to. I think Leanne Trimboli.
Okay.
And Leanne Gubbins, the goalkeeper, and like I'm probably missing quite a few, but
that's all right on the spot.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah.
I do.
It'll probably come to me later.
I do have some pictures here. From state under 18s trip in 03.
Yeah.
So that might.
Yeah, I did see that.
Jog your memory a bit. Who's in there?
Yeah, so Leanne Trimboli, she was part of like the coaching. Oh my gosh, Birdie's still there too.
Yeah, Birdie.
Kalina Caston, and there's Maddie and Nissa Griffin. She was a goalkeeper. Rashan Walsh. Yeah, so like Christina's in there.
Yeah, how cute is Pappy?
I know. Look at her like. I have to like and MJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like MJ was obviously like younger in that.
Yeah.
And Anita. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah, so there's not very many, like, from back then. I guess I was like, who's still playing? Like, Christina is obviously coaching.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Anita would be the only person. I'm like, it's just us. But I think Kalina's playing, I think when I was playing, maybe last year when it was State League, I think Kalina was playing for Metro in, maybe it was reserves or, I don't know, but I saw her. But I don't know where anyone else is.
Yeah, right.
Maybe we need a reunion.
You should.
Gosh, I remember that tracksuit too. how times have changed.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, in
Old
Chelsea, there's a girl here who was in that Year 7 soccer camp with me. Like, so, yeah, it's really nice to look back at those photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another one here from the same year.
Oh, yeah?
You guys went to Greece.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about that. Was that paid for?
Yeah, it was
That's
paid
crazy.
for. So, that was called, it was for the Panhellenic Games.
Okay.
So, when the Olympics was in Athens in 2000, I don't know why they did this, but I think it was an opportunity. We thought it was maybe an opportunity for Greece to like prepare for some official games. But pretty much, if you were Greek, you could represent Australia, but we were representing Oceania. So we were selected, I guess. I don't know how we were selected, I guess maybe from the SASI program. It was Christina and Victoria Ballamenos and myself.
Yeah.
And so we, there was a team sort of formed, players from Melbourne, Sydney, and then off we went to this tournament, which probably wasn't the most organised. I think we only ended up having 2 games.
Oh, really?
And then
was it in Athens or?
Yeah, and Thessaloniki, which is another part. But we played against the national Greek team. So it was, it was pretty good. We're not sure if it was, but it was all paid for. So, how many countries did that? Yeah. And it was all free.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing, because back then, and there was a men's side too, so we all flew together. And like there was an opening ceremony, closing ceremony. Yeah, so it was pretty amazing.
Cool.
And like there's still one of the girls in here, from Sydney, and we still keep in touch. So it's nice to.
Oh.
And I was quite young. We were all quite young then, just to travel overseas.
Yeah.
And,
18. 19.
Yeah, so it was called Panhellenic Games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But I don't think they've done another one since
no,
then.
probably not.
I don't know how they paid for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, didn't have to pay a cent.
Yeah.
My grandparents were there at the time, so they were I don't think my grandpa, I call him Papu, he hadn't seen me play. So, just for them to come from their sort of village and watch. And then I ended up spending some time with them and then ended up going back with the team. So, it was great. I remember we got back and then there was state that week, So, I remember our coach saying, don't get injured. I don't even know who. Yeah. So,
straight into it.
It was great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was so much fun, I guess, to be that age and then have that opportunity to go and travel and play soccer. Yeah, it was really good. And yeah, we got to go with Christina and Victoria, so we had fun. And we were training together at SASI, so we sort of knew, it was nice to go with someone that you were comfortable with and trained with a lot. So yeah, it was good. Oh my gosh, where did you find these?
Facebook, I think. Yeah. Full stalker mode activated again. 09 Campbelltown.
Did I play for Campbelltown? Or was it the Raiders? I didn't play for Campbelltown.
Oh.
Yeah. Did it come? Does it come up on?
I don't know. I would have got that.
Yeah.
Was it Raiders? Maybe I just looked at it wrong.
Yeah. Not sure.
Anyway, skip that. 2011 Olympic.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. And I can't remember when I stopped.
I think I've got here you had a break, maybe 2012, and then 2013 back for Olympic. Is that right?
Yeah, but then I'm not sure how many seasons I played, because then I sort of did stop for a while, and then for a while.
Yeah, right. On and off for a bit.
Yeah. So I think when last year when we were at Burke's, and then I think we played you guys in a cup game.
Last year?
Yeah, it was like it was
I think
initially.
I remember.
And I remember working it out, and it was over 10 years that I'd played Premier League. So
yeah.
Yeah, sort of. I think in terms of SASI, I finished SASI because SASI was pretty much train every day, which was great, but part of that was gym, recovery, games versus under 14 boys. So I remember at the end of year 12, I sort of made a decision to just stop.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I wasn't going to play for the Matildas or anything, but I'd had an amazing time and thought, give some other people an opportunity and as well. So, and then I think I'd played for a couple more years at club and then stopped, and then maybe I started again, but then I retired and then just had a break, which was nice. I think not that I didn't feel like I missed out on much training, but I just remember in year 12 my friends were like, you should come to this party, and I was like, what? Because we were training all the time, and my friends were like everyone at SASI, and it was so great. So
the social life.
I didn't know what to do. But it gave me a chance to, I guess looking back now, I think, I wouldn't change it.
No, for sure.
And I had a good group of friends that supported that as well. So, I had the best of both worlds, I think, a bit on and off for a while, and then I think I had quite a long break until Kevin texted me. Before that first.
Before we get to that, let's talk about your family. You have a husband and 2 kids.
Yes. Yeah.
Got a couple of pictures here.
Oh.
So you married Chad.
Yes.
In 2015.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Oh, thanks.
Looking on Facebook though, did he do an Ironman?
Yes.
Wow.
His first Ironman this year.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So he has done a few halves, which is obviously half the distance.
Yeah.
But this year was the first full Ironman, so which was pretty incredible.
Yeah. Right.
And so he's planning to do another one next year. I think apparently it's pretty addictive once you, get on board the Ironman train. But he grew up playing footy, so I think had a few injuries, and when we met, he was playing for Colonel Light Gardens, I think. I don't know at what level, but so I think just had a few injuries and went off. Started doing that.
Else.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, just started off with some mini ones at West Lakes, which they do, and then he's part of a club now. So
cool.
He loves it, and he loves it. The kids love it too. I think hard to adjust to what to do at a triathlon, because it's not like at soccer where you sit and you just observe.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, he's going to swim. All right, go to the next transition.
Quick, run
quick.
Out.
All right, and then when you got young kids, it's like, come on. They're like, where's Dad? Like when they were young, where's he gone?
Can't see him.
Yeah, so, but,
my brother and George do quite a bit of running, marathons, and George did one triathlon last year.
Oh, wow.
But I feel like it's so hard to watch, especially marathons, unless they're doing a loop where you see them run past every time. But if it's one track, you see them for a second and they're gone.
Yeah,
and it's you just wait around.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
But if you, we have lots of support from his family, Chad's parents, pretty much at every triathlon, every Ironman or half Ironman we've been to. But you're sort of if you know the track, you know where you can see them. And then when he was in, when he did it in Cairns, the swim was, I think it was out Port Douglas. No, they started in Palm Cove, but swam.
Yeah, nice.
He's probably going to say, no, it wasn't. When he watches this, but I'm pretty sure he started the swim in Palm Cove pretty early, and then so we didn't see him we didn't see him till he came back from the ride, and then he did some loops for the 42k for the marathon, which
wild. Good on him.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I think when you look at how long, you're doing that amount of exercise for, and it was pretty hot. It's pretty emotional at the end. You think, oh my gosh, how did you do that?
Yeah.
And that had been the same. We had a game that weekend. I obviously wasn't there, but I was watching it, and which is nice. You can watch our games on NPL Live.
Yeah.
But I was like, come on, girls. I'm didn't go too well that one, but it was nice. I just remember it vividly. So so that's
nice.
Him.
Cool.
Yeah.
And 2 kids.
Yes.
6-year-old Jack.
Yes.
And 4-year-old Ellie.
Yes.
So cute. That's a cute age.
They are very good. They are.
Did you name him after Jack Smith Park or?
No, he.
I'm joking.
No, it's funny. No, we didn't. But yeah, I'm trying to think how we. Yeah, really interesting. Just because Chad and I both liked that name.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the exact meaning, but I think Chad's papa's name was Jack. Well, they used to call him Jack.
Down the line.
But we didn't know that, I think. And then, yeah, well, it happened to be like maybe Jack's date of birth was the same as Papa's. I can't remember exactly, but there was some link to like his Papa.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and we both had like an interest in that name, and that's just what we wanted. And yeah, I remember his mum saying that's like connected to like Papa, and yeah, so that was pretty special. And Jack's middle name's Anthony. It's funny how in his family, Chad's middle name's Anthony and Chad's dad's middle name's Anthony, so it's just Anthony Heinrich, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
So
tied
he's
in
6.
together.
He's started school this year.
Yeah.
So that's been great. He loves it, which is great. Yeah. I think it's more me. Like he came to kindy with me last year, so I was used to having him around. And I'm like, see you later. Like, but yeah, we're really lucky. And he's just started to get into soccer. I think he just loves watching it. He's pretty active though, so I think
find something.
Yeah. So he's good. And Ellie's 4, so she's a pocket rocket. She's pretty confident and I guess very independent. Chad and I talk about it all the time. We say, not sure if it's just because Jack was our first, but you sort of worry a bit more like with your first. And then Ellie sort of just had to be like, come on, you just have to go with what we're doing. And she obviously wanted to do everything that Jack's doing. And she's pretty loud and, very assertive. And he's sort of come out of his shell because originally we'd go to a playground and she's like, all right, see ya. And then Jack's like, all right, I better go, like, I better come.
Yeah.
Off you go. Whereas he would sort of hang with me for, but different personalities, but they do love each other. But they have their moments, but as all siblings do.
Yeah.
But yeah, they love it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sweet. Let's talk about Birkalla. So 2020. Yeah. Birkalla formed in the State League, newer captain.
Yep.
Kevin McCormack. So did you say he gave you a buzz? Yeah,
so he sent me a message just saying, do you want to come and play again? It's at a great club, just starting up a team. And I was like, oh, because I'd been in touch with Kevin, like Kevin Birdie came to our wedding, and so we were always a part of each other's lives.
They're lovely.
But and I guess I'd laugh and say like he's my soccer dad, because you pretty much train every day with someone.
20 plus years, right?
Yeah, and so same with Birdie, so he texted me and just said, do you want to play? And I was like, Chad, Kevin's messaged me, and he said, just relayed the message. He's like, you should go do it. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I haven't played in ages. So I'll just go out and see. And I remember just, rocking up to Birkalla. And when Kev told me it's at Birkalla, I'm like, where's that? Really close. Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
And then just, I think there was just a bit of not a registration, just the club president was talking. There weren't too many girls. It was just, Kevin must have just messaged, whoever he could think of.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had maybe already had, I missed out on one training, but I think they only had about 5 girls come, and then the next time there were more, and then that's how we sort of it was a good feeling though. I think walking in, I was like, wow, this is pretty professional. Not having played for such a long time.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't think I ever played on a pitch like that.
Yeah, the facilities there are really good.
Yeah, so that's how it started.
So was Kev the technical director then, or was he the coach?
Yes, he was a coach with Carl. What's Carl's last name? I've had a blank. So They sort of shared Kev was the technical director, but I feel like they shared the role.
Yeah.
But Carl did a lot of the training. So he was pretty much the coach, but I saw them both as coaches, to be honest. So, but we were training once a week. So
that's that squad there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we were, just training once a week, and Roger, who's part of the health, like the fitness, part of the men's conditioning team back then, which he still is now, he sort of ran boot camps, and I was like, I need to do a bit more. So that's why there was a few of us that trained a bit extra and just went, let's just, let's just do a bit more for our first year. And that was great.
Cool.
And we won that year, so that was incredible.
Yeah, so... Yeah. And so, what... Were you state league then?
And we were like Div.
Oh, Div.
No, we were Div... We Div 4 or 3, maybe? Because it was just when you start out, you have to be a certain Div. I feel like maybe... I should double check that.
Yeah, that's right.
But a div side.
One of the divs, yeah. So, and then 2021 finished second, 4 points behind Marie Vista.
Yep.
So you guys, it was pretty even. I think 1-1, and then 4-5 loss.
Yeah.
Did you know it was top 2 promoted? Because I feel like as someone in the Premier League, that was kind of announced.
Yeah.
Later on, and it was like, oh, there's going to be 10 teams.
No, I think before they had announced that, it was just the top team would go straight through.
Yeah.
And then, so obviously when we're in state league, so top team was going straight through, and then we were under the impression that when you finish second, you just have a playoff with the second to bottom of Premier League, which we did.
Okay. Yeah.
Across 2 games.
Yeah.
So that was versus Fulham.
Yeah, was that at Mount Barker?
The second game was. The first game was at Cumberland, because it had to be a neutral ground.
All right.
And then they had to work out. Yeah, so that was the initial plan.
But that didn't matter in the end.
No, so so we had lost 1-0 the first game, and that was like, I think that was the first time I went, oh wow, I want to come back. Like I'd love to play Premier League again. But it was I felt a bit intimidated just going. Yeah, I did. I remember that moment. And then we lost 1-0 in the last, it was the 90, 5th or so minute, and then so we had to, I think we had to beat them the next following week, but we didn't. They beat us 1-0. I remember that day, it was so hot.
Yeah, right.
At Mount Barker, before your game, before the grand final.
Okay.
And then and then we didn't find out till maybe a couple of weeks later that they were announcing. Yeah, so we were like, great. Yeah, that was really great for us.
And Tony Mansueto was your coach.
Yes.
He came in that year.
Yep.
Awesome. Just for the 1 year? Oh, no.
No, so he coached us.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah, he coached you as you guys got promoted.
Yeah.
Captain again this year.
Oh, yes. Nice photo.
So, obviously the standard's quite a big jump.
Yeah. Yeah, big jump.
Because in State League, you guys had scored 88 goals.
Yeah.
Conceded only 13, so 75 goal difference.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. That's a big difference.
How do you sort of prepare for the WMPL if you've never sort of been there as a club? And I want to know as well, when you played Marie Vista, did it feel any different? Obviously being in the league above
this year.
When you played them this year,
I guess in terms of how to prepare, I guess Tony had obviously some experience coaching at a Premier League level coming from Comets, I think. Yeah. And a few of the girls had obviously come along as well. So there were a few girls that had been part of the WMPL, but a lot of us hadn't.
Yeah.
So, and we'd come from, I guess, training, the first year was just once a week, to twice a week. And then obviously initially, we were training 3 times a week, which I think is the norm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was probably hard for some people to adjust to. And I guess it's hard when you're first starting out, you don't expect players to come and be like, hey, I want to come and give, WMPL go with Birkalla, so it was nice to come. I feel like it was really good to come through with some of the players that had been there from the beginning. I'm not sure how many were left by the time we got into Premier League, but yeah, I guess how do you prepare? We had really great support from the coaches and the president and the club. It's such a nice family to be a part of. So I think we knew it was going to be hard. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we just knew we'd just have to stick together and persist and fight and do all those things and be patient and I guess as a more experienced player, I just knew we just have to keep going, and I think that's why I enjoyed being in the leadership team, because you could see that it was hard to be, obviously not winning all the time, but I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. I was like, you just, you never know, and when you have that group that just believes, and we all get along really well. So
yeah, that's confident.
Yeah, such a nice family feel, and it's so. Yeah, we're so supported by the club. I think that's what, by the it's equal, mm-hmm. We get exactly the same as what they do. Just get looked after really well, and our club president cooks dinners on Wednesday for us, and has these inspiring talks every dinner, and he's around, and and I guess our families, they're pretty supportive, everyone's families and. But in terms of, I guess, training, Roger did a lot of extra work with us as part of the incredible work that, Tony did. So I think together it just worked. Yeah. And some people did extra. I think, we were just pretty persistent, I think, and enjoy, what it's like when you enjoy playing alongside, the people that are in your squad, and, just to see the club growing. I think that's the motivation in itself. But when we played Modbury this year, every time we played Modbury, it's been tough. It was between us two last year, and I remember being sick for that last game, that 4-5. And I was and there was no NPL, it was not and I'm like, what's the score? And it was pretty high scoring game. Yeah. So when we played them this year, it was similar, because you knew every time we played them, it was so important, because that could be the difference of being relegated or, staying, surviving, which is what our aim was. So it's. And it's similar for them. I'm sure they would have felt the same. You just, wanted to get a result, because it was, tricky for us to get a result and score and not, concede goals. So all the little things mattered. Yeah. So in those games, you felt a bit more pressure to just make sure.
You had a good chance. Yeah. Yeah. So you ended up finishing 8th. Mm-hmm. So escaping the relegation battle. Yeah. After beating Inter 3-2. What happened that game? Was that the only game you guys won?
That was the first league. Yeah. First league win. Yeah. That's so they'd won a few. I think we'd won the cup game. There was a cup game. I was away that. I think I was sick for that too.
So they beat you 6-2 back in May. Yes. So to come back and win 3-2, which is very good effort. So obviously you guys knew the weight of that game.
Yeah, we knew how important it was. And the week before, I think we'd played Metro, was it? Yeah, I think. And we'd been up, we were up and then had lost, so I think, we'd gone into half time, I think, with the game before that, which was really important, and we sort of don't know what happened the game before, and then we had lost. So I think that was a bit of a wake-up call for us, because it was well, hang on, you can be ahead, it doesn't matter, so that's I think the experience as well, I just think we had been through so much, and we knew how important it was. And every game we gave 100%. It's not, it wasn't about effort at all during the season. It was just, we struggled to score goals, and, struggled to be consistent that whole 90 minutes. But, I think that's totally okay, in that first year because, it's more about what we learn about each other, by losing and by going through a bit of pain during the season and just, being, I guess we learned to be resilient.
Build some character.
Yeah, and I tell my kids all the time, if things are hard, that's good. That's how you learn and so the spirit was, we're all pretty nervous, I think, and we knew no matter what, let's just stick to our game plan and, Tony worked really hard with us just to, he believed in us the whole time, so I think that was really great. You just knew you had the support from your coach and despite how many games we had lost, and support from the club. So I think we just went into that game feeling confident and just putting it all out there and Sarah Chappell scored this incredible goal which she had against them in the last game. So
good bombs.
It was nice that a few calls went it was just nice that a few things went our way, how it is in football, sometimes things don't go your way and we just kept saying it's just got to go our way. And I think we were expecting to, obviously we surprised ourselves, but we knew we could do it. It wasn't the belief, it was, I guess, sometimes you can feel intimidated by those sides. Salisbury had won, the year before and they were a good side.
Yeah.
So we respected them, but we knew, if we worked hard and just stuck to our plan, it would just
happen.
Yeah. So, and I think we thought that, originally if we had won, in our minds we were like, we still have to go through the playoffs, so
okay.
For us, even if we had won, we thought there'd be another game.
Yeah.
So
It didn't. It was done. Safe.
No, just because all the results just went our way. I felt for I was really I remember our team manager coming on and going, we don't have to play off, and we were like, what? So exciting. I just my kids came to that game. They don't generally come to the last game. They were had a few friends and family there, and I just think that was a highlight. More than winning a league for me, to stay in Premier League with that group of players and just I guess show everyone that you just don't stop until the very last game, and so
cool.
It was good. It was you feel bad sometimes. You think, obviously Salisbury went into that game not expecting that at all, and so. But I guess for them, I was like, well, they're still in the finals. It was more for Modbury Vista. I went, I felt really sad for them because, for as long as we've been together, it's always been, we've always been fighting for that spot, and I guess that's just the part of how it goes. And I guess not knowing, what would have happened, because there's always the what ifs. If we hadn't won, what would have happened, but I guess we don't need to think about that anymore and move onwards and upwards. So, it was pretty incredible. It was good. Nice to be part of.
Just the last thing, just quickly. The Real World Fitness and Training, is that Roger?
Yes.
Guy? So you've been doing some work with him during the season and off season.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk a little bit about what he sort of offers or what that's about? Because I've got a friend that works with him as well.
Yes.
With Bramley.
So he was already there prior to me starting. So I'm not sure how long. I'll have to Roger. I don't know. But obviously he had a lot to do with the men's program, the fitness and conditioning side of things. So that was at training. I guess he also offers. On top of the football side of things, there's also boot camps and things like that. So you don't have to be a part of the club to access that. but offers, obviously, if you want, you can, you know, be a part of one-on-one sessions, and if you choose to, you know, sometimes part of pre-season, like he would, you know, set up a bit of a summer boot camp football style, just, you know, for whoever was keen. As part of the games, like Roger actually did quite a few of our games, just as in terms of activation and warm up and like helping with the subs and cool down. So that's been pretty incredible. I guess I'd never been a part of a club that had done that, so lots of things have changed. And he runs like holiday clinics and soccer clinics for kids, which my son did. He's done the last couple and loves. So I think it's just part of the, you know, club. And I think he supported other clubs as well. So he's pretty well known. So he does a lot for the club, but also, so it's his own business. But, it's incredible. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. So just before we do our dream team, everyone's favourite part.
We have
our Isn't That Wild fact. That's just a random thing that I do every episode.
Okay.
So a shrimp's heart is in its head. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Who would know that? It's just totally random, but
I'm going to tell my kids that tonight.
All right. Oh, hit the camera there.
Oh, do I have to write? Okay.
Yes.
I had some help with this because...
Oh, yeah. Grab that out.
Oh, gosh. I didn't even... Sorry.
It's okay. There's been a couple that have been unprepared. That's totally fine.
Oh, yeah. No, I was... Because I wasn't sure if it was players that I grew up playing with, because I thought no one will know them.
It's just anyone who's played top level soccer here in SA. It could be from Sensation or anyone. I'll bend the rules for you a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I know now. I feel like. Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Maybe I'll just stick with this one that I sort of.
Yeah. Easy.
Let me find it.
Do you know who your coach would be?
I don't think I thought about a coach, but I'm going to go Tony, our coach.
Tony?
Yep. I know. I think. Am I writing all of this down?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No, that's fine. That's just for me to copy later. Tony,
okay, so
in
goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So Annie Grove.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. But I've got here Annalie, so maybe is that her full name?
That is her full name, but Annie Grove's fine.
I'll just put Annie.
She's a legend.
I don't know if she's IE when she's Annie.
That's Annie. That's fine.
So defenders. So I've got Emily Hodgson, Alice McCauley, Nicole Calder, and Abby Burns.
Nice.
Am I going to write those down?
Yeah, just write their last names.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I can do it for you.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, Hodgie, right back.
Yeah.
Hodgie.
And there's Alice McCauley, Nicole Calder, and Abby Burns. I did see Nicole was playing up front quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I could put her there.
She's centre back through and through.
Yeah.
Midfield?
And so midfielders, so Nano, Yuka, and Sarah Chappell.
Nano, Yuka, Chappell. Yeah.
And then attackers, so Quiggs, Katie Bowler, and Amelia Murray.
Nice.
Yeah, so I had to. That's from this. I thought, I could have gone back and gone.
Yeah.
But I was like, let's just stick to, this year's. Yeah.
Awesome.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good team.
I found that
hard.
I don't know what it is like when I play. Yeah, I just like I probably have been out of the game for a long time, so I'd be like, who's that? Like, I know that they're an incredible player, and I'm like, I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
You know, and then you come up against them, and then you're like, oh, I know who that is now. You know, because there's not very many players that are playing from back when I was. So it's a really good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So where do you mainly play?
Where? So this year I played as I started off as a 10, and then I actually played a bit of 9 because that's just what we did, and I actually really enjoyed it. I probably didn't score. I scored penalties, and that's probably about it. But I actually enjoyed. I think because we had a lot of midfielders, so I was just grateful to be on. So I just had to modify, how I played, and I actually enjoyed it because it probably wasn't as much running as, what Sarah Chappell has to do, or the other midfielders, which I felt fit enough to do that, but I actually enjoyed it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this year. But I enjoy midfield. I grew up playing more of a defensive role.
Yeah, I was going to ask, where did you play?
Yeah, it was a defensive. Back in the day. Yeah, defensive midfielder. We didn't have numbers so I remember coming back and Tony was like, playing, 10.
That was Kev that taught me numbers.
Yeah.
At SASI.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was
always. Oh, was it? Maybe not. maybe it was when I trained in the W League team. One of the two. Yeah. Some NTC coach. It might have been Kev if you're listening, but they were that was all they sort of. No, I think it was Kev. Yeah. Yeah. So I found that I struggled with that because I thought, what do you mean? Like I was like, do you mean like attacking midfielder or defensive midfielder? Just right wing or left wing? I guess formations have changed too. Yeah. So that's taken a bit of getting used to, but like I still say I'll just be like midfield. Yeah. Like, just midfield. Or like so 10. So Pappy as well. Was she always the number 6? She's the number straight. I feel like she always was. Midfield. Yeah, I feel like she always was, but do you play next to her much or? For some reason, I don't know if I'm right, but I feel like maybe sometimes she was more attacking as well. Like she played it more attacking. Yeah. As well, she was just solid. Yeah, she was a beast. So that was and she was great. Yeah. So it's nice to see her still coaching. Being involved. Yeah. Which is good. I was like, maybe Patty will still be playing, when I am, but maybe she'll make a comeback. Yeah, I ask her every training session. You starting this week, Pappy? No. She could. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks so much for coming on. You're welcome. It was fun. Got some pictures to take home. Yes, I'll take these to the kids. Show the kids. We'll put them on the fridge. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Alrighty. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next time.